Dad said, turn off some of these lights. All right, whole house is glowing like a stadium. Then Dad walks in my room, mid-switch off. I lock up because it's pitch black. Then my dad says, son, you paying the electric bill? And that's when I realize he didn't see lights on. He saw money flying out the window. I said, first day fit is going hard. Perfect. Whole fit looks clean and the shoes are new. Then another kid walks in with the same shirt. Mid-fit check, I panic because bro got the same fit from the same store. Then I see a third kid. Oh nah, not y'all too. And that's when it clicks. Mom bought the popular back to school bundle that everyone else got. I said, bro, this food was actually gas. Facts, bro. Then the sun starts setting on the way back. Mid-laugh. I freeze because he just stopped laughing mid-joke to look at the sky. Then he says, bro, hold up. No. Look at the sunset. I need to take a pic. That's when it hits me. He got 100 sunset pics that look identical. And he gonna swear this one's different. I said, oh, I got self-checkout. Perfect. Whole lines behind me. Then the machine yelled.
Item purposely not scanned.
Mid-scan. I freeze because it says unexpected item. Then the lady says, sir, can I help you? And that's when it clicks. I didn't steal, but the machine's making me look guilty. I said, hey, I'm holding the door open for you. Thanks?
Huh?
He's 30 feet away. Then he starts jogging. Mid-awkward jog, I freeze because he's breathing really hard. And that's when it clicks. I didn't hold the door for a random stranger. I forced a random stranger to do cardio. I told my brother, dude, when did you get this funny? He said, I've always been this funny, man. We're vibing, best friends for real. Him ripping the loudest fart I've ever heard. I'm furious. I said, get out. No, close my door. Close it. Oh my God. And that's when it hits me. Our 10-minute trial of being friends is up. Oh my gosh, he's gonna be crushed. Hello? Listen, I can't make it, man. Bro, what? Are you serious? Yeah, dude, I'm really sorry. I fractured my right pinky toe. Going to the doctor, bro. I'll catch you. I was praying you would cancel. I wouldn't go nowhere. I said, I'll grab fireworks. Perfect. Whole parking lot's watching. Then, Dad sees the total. Mid-receipt. I freeze because it says $217. Then my dad says, son, for what? And that's when it clicks. I just bought 5 minutes of noise? I said, yeah, I'll be ready in 5 minutes. Perfect. Whole family's in the car. Then Dad honks. Mid-wait. I freeze because I'm still in socks. Then my dad says, son, 5 minutes? Really? And that's when it clicks. My 5 minutes is 30. Dad said, close the door. AC's on. Okay. Whole house's cold air is leaking out. Then Dad comes by my room. Mid-breeze. I freeze because the curtain's blowing out the door. Then my dad says, son, are you cool in the neighborhood? And that's when it clicks. I didn't leave the door open. I left his wallet open. Mom said, Lance, where's the remote? I don't know. Whole couch is looking at me. Then Mom walks in. Mid-look. I freeze because it's under my leg. Then my mom says, son, are you sitting on it? And that's when it clicks. I didn't mean to take it. I'm just too comfortable to move. My teacher said, so, what did everyone do this summer? Ooh, whole class had insane summers. Teacher looks at me, mid-eye contact. I freeze because I did literally nothing for 3 months. Then I said, I was really productive and worked on myself. And that's when it clicks. The only thing I did this summer was rot in my room for 90 days straight. He said, hey Lance, oh, what's good, my boy? I freeze because we've been cool for a whole year and I don't know his name. I got it. Yo, bro, what's your Instagram? It's just my name. Duh, you don't remember my name. What? Of course I do. How do you spell it again though? Dude, it's AJ. And that's when I feel horrible. He remembered my whole name and I couldn't even remember 2 letters. Stay with me. Who taught? The first teacher. Why does the best part of a cucumber taste like the worst part of a watermelon? Oh, I gotta go. What if death was a disease, but we just never bothered to find a cure? Sir, open up. Mom said, where's my Tupperware? Ooh, whole kitchen silent. Mom's got that look. Mid-panic. I freeze because it's in my backpack. And my mom says, okay, well, let's try this since no one wants to answer. Bring it back or don't come back. And that's when it clicks. That wasn't Tupperware. That was her life saving. Stay with me. If sleep is good for your brain, then why isn't it allowed in school? We know our parents for our whole lives, but they only know us for part of theirs. If you think about it, you and your best friend can't go to each other's funeral. Sir, open up! I said, wow, I'm about to get so much work done. Whole setup is perfect. Tabs open, notes out, I'm locked in. 3 hours straight. No phone, no break, just grinding. Then I say, you know what? Now would be a great time for a 5-minute break. Let's hop on the game. Then my mom walks in and says, oh, so I see you ain't done nothing productive all day. Wait, no, My teacher said, bring everything on the supply list the first day. Then the teacher looks over at my desk. Mid, looking at my stuff, I freeze, because she just said, oh, we won't actually use any of that. You just need a pencil and paper. And that's when I start to get mad. They make a long list on purpose, so you buy stuff we never even use. I said, oh, I thought this summer was gonna be a movie. Man, whole house is just quiet. Mid, blank stare. I freeze, because I already played games, opened the fridge, and laid on the floor. Then I start scrolling. Bro, there's literally nothing to do. And that's when it clicks. I don't miss school. I miss doing something. I go back tomorrow if there was no homework. Mom said, eat. She made it for you. Okay. Whole plate looks normal, but her house stinks. Then the lady smiles while waiting. Mid staring at her and staring at her food. I blink out. She's funny looking, so this is probably nasty. Then I say, I'm not hungry. And that's when it clicks. I thought funny looking people made nasty food. I said, I know how to use the microwave. Smooth. Then I put my bowl inside. Whole kitchen's watching it spin. Then it starts buzzing loud. Mid, spin. I freeze because there's literally lightning inside the microwave. Then my dad says, son, is that metal? I go, wait, I thought it was microwave safe. He goes, the bowl is, not the fork. Mom said, wake me up at 7. I got work. Okay. Whole room's dark and she's knocked out. Then softly I say, Mom, Mid, jolt. I freeze because I literally whispered. Then she gasps and yells, you trying to give me a heart attack? And that's when it hits me. Waking her up is scarier than just letting her be late. My sister said, hey, can you get me a snack from the store? She didn't even say please. Mid stare. I go numb because I'm already thinking about what I want too. Then I said, man, what? Nah. And that's when it clicks. I said no, grabbed the keys anyway, came back and threw it at her. Here, think. Don't talk to me. I was always gonna get it. Just had to be mean first. My brother says, yo, you up? Uh-huh. Whole house is dark. He's in my doorway with his phone light on. Mid whisper. I freeze because he's standing over me. Then he says, all right, bro, just wanted to say goodnight. And that's when it clicks. He didn't wake me up to ask me something. He woke me up to tell me he's going to bed. Mom said, oh, don't get smart with me. Huh? Whole argument was logical. Then mom pauses. Mid debate. I freeze because she's not even listening anymore. Then my mom says, watch your tone. You're being disrespectful. And that's when it clicks. I wasn't being disrespectful. I was just winning. Matter of fact, give me your phone. I said, all right, I'll catch you later, man. Perfect. He said bye too. Then we start walking the same way. Mid, same sidewalk. Same exact pace. I freeze because we just did the whole goodbye. And that's when it clicks. We're locked in for 2 blocks of awkward silence. So I'm taking a detour down a random side street. At one point in our lives, our parents put us down and never picked us up again. If you get out of the shower clean, how does your towel get dirty? Oh, I gotta go. If a vampire bites a zombie, does the zombie become a vampire or does the vampire become a zombie? Sergeant, open up! What if the ocean's only salty because the land never waves back? How do you throw away a garbage can? Oh, I gotta get out of here. Today's the oldest you've been, but also the youngest you'll ever be again. Sir, open up! My friend said, bro, why are you so quiet? You mad? Whole group is loud. I'm just chilling on my phone. I go, no, I'm not mad. Mid, looking at them. They're all staring now. I start to get a little irritated because my second friend goes, nah, you definitely mad. Then my third friend says, just say who made you mad. And that's when it hits me. I wasn't mad until y'all kept asking if I'm mad. Mom said, it's still summer though. Huh? Whole store looks different. Back to school signs, pencils, backpacks everywhere. Mid stare. I lock up because I still have 3 weeks left. Why are they rushing me? Then I go down an aisle. Oh, let me enjoy my summer first. And that's when it clicks. My summer plans didn't even start yet, and they're already trying to end it. My teacher said, first day of school, roll call everyone. Whole class is dead silent. Then she starts going down the list. I tense up because she's 2 names away from mine, and I'm already stressing. And Lance? And that's when it clicks. It's either voice crack or get marked absent. I go, here. Whole class turns, and the teacher goes, okay. He said, what'd you say? I didn't hear you. Bruh. whole fit is just sticking to me. Then I say, dude, it's too hot out here for me to be repeating myself. Mid squint, I go blank because I'm already hot, irritated, and ready to go home. Then he says, huh? Bro, what did you say? And that's when it clicks. Bro, lock in. It's 100 degrees out here. I'm not saying it twice. If you missed it, that's on you. Bro said, my mom asked where you've been. Yeah, you know this is my second home. Then I look down and she's already got a plate for me. His mom yells from the other room. Mid convo. I lock up because she made my plate first. Then he says, bro, stop eating all the snacks. And that's when it clicks. I'm not his friend anymore. I'm the second son she didn't have to raise. And he's mad I'm better at it. I said, I know how to jump a car. Perfect. Whole parking lot's watching. Then dad hands me cables. Mid spark. I freeze because red's on black. Then my dad says, son, step back. That's when it clicks. I am not a mechanic. I'm a fire hazard. I said, oh, he's waving at me. Hey, whole hallway's looking. Then he walks right past me, mid, hand still up. I freeze because he was waving at the guy behind me. Then my brain says, bro, just play it off. And that's when it clicks. I'll replay this for the next 7 years. Mom said, take out the chicken. All right. Whole kitchen's waiting for dinner. Then mom pokes it, mid drip. I freeze because juice just got on my hands. Then my mom says, son, wash your hands. And that's when it clicks. That wasn't water. That was salmonella. I said, wait, that's illegal. You can't do that. Whole car is just sitting there. Then it starts backing and turning around. Oh my God, are we about to get robbed? Mid peak. I get scared. Then he drives off. I said, yeah, that's right. Run on and don't come back here. That's when it hits me. I really just thought I stopped a robbery. Last day of school. Hey, see you next year, bro. Bet. Whole summer goes by. No text, no call. Then it's the first day back. I'm ready to see my boy again. Can't find him. I freeze because his desk is empty. Oh, he moved over the summer. He didn't tell you? And that's when it clicks. We really said see you next year. It meant never again. Dad said plunge the toilet. Okay. Whole bathroom's flooded. Then dad stands in the doorway. Mid splash. I freeze because it hit my shirt. My face. Then my dad says, son, you good? And that's when it clicks. That splash had chunks.